Learning how to take a test is a lot like learning a language. When you were really little, before you could even speak, your brain was picking up language. All you had to do was hear people speak your language and then practice. No one even had to give you a lesson because your brain is made to acquire languages. Well, your brain will do the same thing with testing language. All you have to do is learn the best strategies for saving time and picking up the most points, and then let your brain pick up the test language through practice. Even if you've learned the language of your classwork and homework, tests are not the same thing. They have a language of their own. Fortunately, though, as we said, brains are made to acquire languages. But like any other language, it takes time to learn your test's language. If you were going to a country where they spoke a different language, you wouldn't dream of trying to learn the language 2 days before you got to the country. Your words would be slow and halting. You would have to stop to pick out your next words just to complete a sentence. That's because brains don't just pick up a language in a couple of days. And that's true for test language too. Sure, if you started learning French 2 days before you got to France, you could probably ask how to get to a restaurant. But it's slow, nerve-wracking, and takes a lot of your brain's energy translating each word when you don't know the language well. If you really wanted to understand how to get around without all that strain, you would start learning your language early so that you had time to practice. Giving your brain time to acquire any language makes you fluent. Then the words just flow. You move through sentences quickly and easily, and you understand what people are saying to you without having to stop to translate every word. When you become fluent in test language, you run into fewer surprises. When you run into the tricks and traps that the test makers love, you see those traps easily and won't be so easily fooled. You move more quickly through the test the same way you move quickly through sentences in your own language, without having to stop and think about which words you'll use, because you're used to the test's language and won't have to stop and think so much about what the test makers might mean in every question. Moving more fluidly through a test without getting confused means you can rack up a lot more points, a lot more quickly. Starting to study 2 days before the test will help a little, very little. Starting a month before the test will make a big difference. Start learning 6 months before? Even better. And if you started learning the test language a year before the test, by the time the test came around, you would speak the test's language pretty fluently. Know the test language fluently, and you have a much better chance of getting the test score you want. Get the test score you want, and the schools you want will be begging you to apply. Nice work.